guys, it's Kanan.
It's Jesse.
And we are the Geeky Saying Couple, and this is our RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 6 overview / analysis video. The episode was called The Night Off, and really didn't go the way everyone thought it was going to go. Now, this whole week was very strange. Everybody was on the thought that, with it being just a 16-minute episode, maybe around 13 minutes with the opening plus the credits, that this was going to be more of like a slice of life episode, showing each character doing something on their night off. And it got even more interesting when earlier, like a couple of days ago, the official RWBY Twitter posted a little hype video for this, what we thought was this chapter, and it was really weird because it had one half of it was Ruby and Weiss fighting the Grimm from Chapter 5 when they were clearing the way for airships, and then we got a new section with Blake and Yang in Mantle out on the town alone, and they ended up fighting Robin. Now, of course, a lot of people got mad, saying spoilers and all that. I didn't see it as that big of a spoiler because there was no as far as we knew, there was no we didn't know the story behind it. It was to get hype.
It's a teaser, and
yeah.
I mean, I didn't really see it as a spoiler either. It just made me more excited.
All it spoiled was Blake and Yang are gonna fight Robin. That's it.
And the thing is I really agree with a lot of others have said it, it's obviously a misunderstanding, and we'll kind of go into that with this episode, but...
Even though it didn't even happen this episode.
It didn't, but there's things that are going to lead to that, and, it's very obvious that it's going to lead to a misunderstanding at this point.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's the reason why Rooster Teeth took it down. It wasn't for this episode.
But, also because everyone freaked out,
Yeah, and I even say at the end of our reaction, they freaking tricked us. But, it would have been nice to have had that this episode, but so much happened. So much damn stuff happened this episode that it would have been way too full for that to be included. So it's going to be next week. So before we start, while you get the next slide up, just remember, you guys, make sure if you like the video, subscribe, like it, share it, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. All of the links will be in the description down below for our Twitters, our Patreon or Etsy store. Like we've always said, she does commissions.
And there is an offer until December 31st on our Patreon, and even the dollar tier counts for this. So
yeah, remember, guys, if you can't give a lot but you want to support us, there's a $1 tier. It's just $1.
Everything really does help.
Yes.
So
especially since we both work, retail jobs. So let's get the first slide up of the episode. Now, what I thought was going to happen was, since the riot started at the beginning of Chapter 5, and since we saw the clip of Yang and Blake on the streets, which in the street that it showed them in this little hype video, they were the only people on the street. So I thought that it was set before the riot started, because it would kind of make sense. Ruby's at the rally with Penny. Weiss is with Winter. We just didn't know where Jean, Nora, and Ren were. And Bumblebee are out on the town. So everybody was like, ooh, a Bumblebee date, and Robin's gonna interrupt it,
Yeah. Which can still happen.
Yeah, after watching this episode, it's definitely a date. So I was surprised when the episode started and the riots have ended. And some people have gotten themselves arrested, of course, which is what happens in riots. And it was like, oh, yep, so the riots have already been squashed. It's done. It kind of looks like it's becoming daylight, if that is the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like the riots went on for most of the night. So that's very interesting. Now we see this group of people waiting in line to vote.
And the drunk.
Yeah, the drunk from Chapter 1.
Well, it makes sense. The other guy got arrested.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. And it's very interesting. While this is being showed, a news reporter is asking Robin how she feels that a lot of her supporters were caught up in the riots. And of course, Robin's being a smart politician in that she says she doesn't condone rioting. And she kind of does a good job of switching the blame to Jacques.
Which is where it should be anyway.
Yeah.
But everything that she says, she's you can tell she's speaking truthfully. Like, she's, everything that she does, it's for Mantle. And yeah, they obviously haven't been treated the best or gotten the things that they need. And she wants to do that. And that pretty much goes to saying that, and I think I did say this in our last overview, the last chapter, is, Jacques took the jobs away. Can she get those back? Yes, clearly she's going to do what she can to get jobs back. Even if it's not that, it'd be something different. Obviously better than the mines.
I also love that the name of the news is Mantle Daily. Kind of makes me wonder if that's a nod to the Daily Planet. And like they
drunk.
they decided to focus on the drunk when it came to showing the voting. And
which I can understand why, because of the confrontation, that he had with, Blake, and
it kind of hints that he was one of the few that was going that. See, it's weird because the comments he said would make you think he would side with Jacques, but I don't know. I just got the feeling that he was probably a Robin supporter.
He probably was, and I think most of
Mantle
was, which clearly with the vote, once we get to that, everybody kind of was on Robin's side.
This episode also proves that paper ballot voting needs to make a comeback.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit of training. We get a little bit of Bumblebee sparring. Someone on Twitter, I can't remember, I think it might have been Save the Bees who posted saying that RWBY Chibi strikes again and that this was foreshadowed in the little scene of Blake and Yang playing tag in RWBY Chibi.
Because that's why I try to capture one moment where they're both separated like that, but it kind of looks like they're playing tag.
Yeah. So we get some.
I liked this because she's pretty much bouncing her sisters.
Yeah. So we get to see that Winter is still training Weiss, which Weiss gets the better of her in this little exchange.
I've got that, but she just flings it up and down like a ping pong ball, and
Weiss uses her knight, but in a miniature version, it's like she pretty much cuts the legs of Winter, and Winter gives her this really dirty look.
Oh, and it continues. Yeah. I had that look. She's just like, huh?
Yeah, like for once she actually bested her sister in a little bit of training.
And then we get Jean.
Yeah, Jean and Nora are playing the weirdest bit of ping pong or something I've ever seen. I don't know.
Racquetball in a way.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what this is. Is it a ball of dust?
I think
I don't know.
I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it's just a ball, but it might be something formed in that room, like everything else.
Maybe. Now this is cool in that
she used every bit of her strength.
Yeah, and Jean tanks it, but it does sap some of his aura. But then we see him use his semblance to repair his, and Oscar makes the observation that his his replenishing speed has gotten faster.
Yeah, it's gotten quicker, but then Nora shocks the crap out of his back, and he just goes thumbs up. Okay.
So it shows the training is definitely working.
Because I did notice on Oscar's scroll, once he stood there and you could actually see the screen, his John's aura went back up.
Yeah.
Not fully, but
it's kind of like in video games when you heal yourself and you watch your HP fill back up. That's what it pretty much was.
Like me the other day in Dragon Age, over and over.
So we once again see RWBY split while using her semblance. We saw this in a very quick sequence in Chapter 1, and Oscar asks pretty much the same thing that we've been wondering.
I've always been able to do that, and she just says, I've not really thought about it. She just does it. So, to me, because we've noticed from the beginning to now, she's growing stronger, very strong. For the fact that she went from splitting twice Now she's split 3 times, and then she said, I don't know. She just doesn't really think about it.
Now, it was funny because I think Oscar even says that they're all, evolving and getting stronger. And there's been this long theory that semblances evolve the stronger you get. Because it has been said aura gets stronger because it's like a muscle. The more you work it out, the stronger it'll get.
Which makes sense that your semblance would. Your semblance, as you get older, it evolves. I mean, I'm sure when everyone discovers their semblance, by the time they're an adult and stuff, it's not the same, clearly. I mean...
Yeah. Plus, it's, further doing the whole idea that there's more to Ruby's semblance than we've ever known. So I think it's foreshadowing that she's gonna be using, like, it's gonna, like, evolve into something more than just being fast.
But with hers, especially, I mean, I know the eyes are a completely different thing, but with hers, I think they combine somehow. Like, what if she could evolve her semblance enough to be able to use her eyes while using her semblance? So...
I mean, that's an alright theory, but the thing that is bad is, like, why haven't other Silver-Eyed Warriors been able to do that? Like, why wasn't Maria able to do that?
It depends on the semblance.
Yeah, it might be.
Because, I mean, Maria's semblance...
was reflexes, which is pretty much...
Which she did use that to an advantage with her eyes, but obviously
Maria's
not
semblance
enough.
is pretty much Ruby's version of Ultra Instinct. In a way. So this is where they get the news that they're getting a day off.
Yeah.
And everyone is super, super confident that Robin is going to win. And that is major red flags. Because this is RWBY. Nothing goes as planned.
No. But, I mean, like Yang says, better Robin than Jock. So, yeah. But the thing is another, like I said before, Robin really had the major vote.
Yeah.
But, of course, Watts, nothing's going to stay that way.
No. Which, everyone said that the lead that she had was a sign that, she's definitely going to lose. Which we all knew. We all knew that was going to happen, but we'll get to that when we actually get to it. And Nora is like the social commentary character of this whole entire episode. Like, she is pointing out all the major things. And right here, she's saying, she's been ever since they joined back up with Ironwood, it's been Nora who keeps on pointing out that he needs to do something about Mantle.
Like that security.
Yeah. And, like...
Watts wouldn't be able to access it if it wasn't for that.
It's just like Ironwood is so obsessed with his plan that he's
blind to what he's...
He's not thinking outside the box.
No,
that's
and
for sure.
Later in the episode, something Nora says does make sense. Everyone's heart is in the right place on what they want to do. They're to do good for both Mantle and Atlas. But obviously, who's doing a better job at that?
Yeah. So this is very interesting that they bring back up that Ironwood is being framed, because that definitely comes into play later this episode. This is foreshadowing with a capital F. Yeah, so here they're told that they are having a night off, and people, like, it's very obvious that this was placed here because Blake and Yang now know they're going to have a night off together. The first one...
They wouldn't single a shot on the two of them like that, looking at each other for no reason.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry.
They've definitely got something planned for next episode. Don't know exactly what's going to happen. Hopefully we'll actually get to see them dance together, because we kind of got robbed of that in Volume 2.
Yeah.
But, the moment a night off is brought up, they both look at each other. So it's definitely RWBY's way of saying, yes, we know they need some time together. Yes, we know that a discussion needs to happen. So hopefully we will get that next episode before, they fight Robin. But yeah, this is like what happens later in the episode kind of shows that, that's what this look was for. I mean, it's kind of common sense. And Ironwood pretty much says he's ordering them to take the night off. Because, let's face it, if you're too tired to do your job, you're not going to do it well.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like I said, he's not completely, like, not thinking straight.
Yeah, Ironwood's not an ass or anything like that. Like,
no, and I know the theories that everyone started having at the beginning, and really, no. You can, as this volume progresses, you clearly see no. And again, his heart's in the right place. He's just not doing all the right things.
He still doesn't realize.
He doesn't understand yet or realize.
Yeah, he's still having problems with the fact that, as so many others have said, strength does not guarantee victory. So we go back to their dorm. Glad to see we actually got to see it a bit better this time around. It's not just, from the, like,
just the view of the beds.
Like sitcom way of how the camera is sitting where we just see the beds. We actually just get to see that they do have a little bitty desk and all that. And of course, where the camera is, that's where the bathroom and possibly the exit is, you would think.
You only saw a glimpse of that in the other episode, like when looking down towards Penny, but that's about it.
So, interesting thing. Weiss is standing up, leaning against the ladder, listening to the news. Ruby is in her bunk, listening and watching the news that Weiss is watching. Yang is in Weiss's bunk. And Blake is sitting there, touching herself up. So this is great that we actually finally get to see this, because we knew that I mean, they wear makeup, of course. I mean, Ruby, I don't know how so much, but Blake does wear eyeshadow. She always has. And so we finally actually get to see that her actually putting her makeup on. So
I noticed her makeup, her mascara end is purple.
Yeah. So it's nice little details like that. So people like the detail that as she's putting it on, she opens her mouth like most girls do.
Yes, I do this, and it's not known why. Nobody can figure it out. Like,
so it's just really.
You've asked me why I do it.
Yeah, but it's just a nice little detail, a nice little real world detail. So, so there are several theories going on about this one little shot right here. Okay, so, yes, Yang looks over at Blake putting her makeup on, and Yang does stare at her, and she does give this kind of flirty little smirk, and yeah, that's how it looks. I've seen it,
You've done it.
Yeah.
To me, putting my makeup on, whether it's at home or a con.
Yeah.
He has done this. This is romantic.
I've also zoomed in and looked. And,
I have too. So.
Yeah, and I mean, Yang's eyes aren't even looking straight ahead; they're looking down. She's looking at the Bella booty. She really is. And some people have theorized that in this instance, Blake isn't looking at herself; she's looking in the mirror, looking back at Yang.
After she checks it, her eyes shift. So.
Maybe. We're not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to say that's definite. We can't tell because
we can't see the mirror.
Yeah.
But the fact that,
Now, when you do see the mirror here in a minute, there's something interesting. So, once again, they're listening to. Now, Weiss states that she wonders why her father would make an announcement like this the day before the election ends, because
when it's just going to hurt him.
Yeah, so Weiss is the only one out of the four that knows something is wrong, because she knows the kind of man her father is. So she already expects something's up.
And I think I have a feeling because of Weiss and probably Winter, but more so Weiss at this point. I think, once things get back to her and the whole group learns of Tyrion, because so
far, Ruby's the only one out of Team RWBY that's had to go against Tyrion, which, of course, Ren, Nora, and John fought him too, but Weiss, Blake, and Yang have never fought him.
I don't think Shock's going to keep that seat for very long. I think my theory is that it's going to be because of Weiss and the rest of it, but mostly Weiss because she knows her father and they know everything else.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I still don't think the fall is going to happen this volume. I still think that's going to happen in Volume 8. I do think Team RWBY is going to side with Robin at some point. I really do. Then that's going to cause them to defy Ironwood. So it might be a whole thing where they're trying to help Robin, but also going against Jock plus Ironwood, even though they don't want to fight Ironwood, they have to you know
I mean, I do
try
see
and
that
stop this
way.
conflict. I just think that yes, eventually, because I don't think Weiss has, but the at least Ruby, Yang. I don't know if Blake did either, but at least Yang and Ruby have shown some kind of confidence in Robin. So, because I mean, even later in this episode, Ruby watches Robin's speech and she's smiling the whole time. So,
But I think if, I don't think Jacques will keep the seat for, if for very long. But I think if he loses it, I think it will be because of Weiss.
That or Watts backstabs him.
And that too.
Yeah.
Combination of both. Blindsided by Weiss, and then Watts comes in.
So anyway, like Weiss does voice her concerns, which Yang gets up, stretches.
She says she thinks it's just a.
It was a power play that
backfired on him. Yeah.
And then she says, in a couple hours, it's not going to matter. So she comes over to Blake, puts her hand on her shoulder, and this is funny. The person
opposite shoulder.
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, the artist, the person who animated this scene, because they retweeted this whole scene. It was from the point where Yang got up to the point where I forgot where it ended, but I know it at least went a little bit past where Blake turns her head. And she said she was the one who animated it, and I even commented on saying, "Thank you so much for that soft touch from Yang," and she liked it. So that was the point. Anyway, did you get this whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruby asks Yang and Blake where they're going to go, and Blake says that Team Funky invited them out dancing. And I love how she poofs her hair a little bit, like showing Blake.
Aaron.
Yeah, that's definitely an Aaron
plays
thing.
with her hair.
But it's kind of funny to show Blake like being like self-aware to fix herself up.
We've never seen her
cute.
do this. So.
Yeah. So. And she says that her and Yang thought it would be a good idea to get their minds off the election. Now, the thing is, Yang's hand moves from... Now, I'm going to go from my...
I missed the one where her hand was actually completely on that shoulder at this moment before she moved it.
Yeah, it's on her right shoulder, and then as Blake moves, Yang slightly lifts her hand up...
Slides it over,
and puts it around Blake's shoulder. Now, I'm sorry. If you've never been in a romantic relationship or a flirty relationship with somebody you really like, then you may not have thought this was a big thing. But this is a smooth move by Yang.
It's a very...
Like, she literally makes it to where she's just got her hand on her shoulder because she's leaning over her, to literally wrapping her arm around her and placing it on her other shoulder.
And then proceeds to fix her bangs while still looking in the mirror.
Yes, she's not even looking at herself as she fixes her bangs. She's still looking at Blake. So, but trust me, it gets better as this episode goes, even though this is literally the last few minutes that Blake and Yang are on camera in this episode. So, Ruby...
I just realized her whole mascara thing is purple. It's not just the end.
So, Ruby makes the point that Yang thinks that Team Funky is annoying, which is kind of funny because we already knew she thought Neon was annoying, but now it turns out she thinks the whole entire team is annoying, which is just funny. It makes me really hope that next week Neon tries to flirt again with Yang or something and Blake gets jealous. That would be so awesome. But Yang makes the joke, that's the best part about dance clubs, is that she won't be able to hear them. Which she gives this really loud hip cocks her hip really, really hard. And she makes Blake laugh. Second time we've seen it this volume.
And she looks at her after she does something to see her laugh.
Yes. Now...
That obviously, because to me, that means something to her. She's making her...
Well, also, when you're around the person you like, you do tend to tell stupid jokes, to make them laugh and all that. And in the past, Yang's always had terrible jokes, and that's because, Barbara loves puns and all that. And I can't really remember many times where Blake actually legit laughed in the early volumes. I know there was a few times, but excuse me. But yeah, the time she made her laugh in chapter 3, and then the time she's made her laugh here, every time both times she's told the joke, she's looked at Blake to see if see if she'll laugh. So yes, that is a thing, and when you're around the person that you've got a crush on. Now, if I'm just trying to make people laugh, I want to make more than one person laugh. It's not just that one person. But there's many times that I've told a stupid ass joke just to try and get her to laugh. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. She laughs more at the mundane things, like if I say the wrong thing because I'm talking before I'm thinking. But if I actually try to tell a legit joke, she just ignores me, kind of. But yes, this is definite flirting. This is her telling a joke, looking at Blake, and Blake laughs, which this is very out of character for Blake. Especially early volume Blake.
Yeah.
So it's kind of going back to like the DC comic in Blake's chapter where it showed what she was like before Adam's abuse. And it's kind of like Yang is helping her develop
Come
more.
back to that.
Yeah. Now Blake
grow from that.
Yeah, Blake may never be the way she used to be, but Yang, it seems like it's bringing out parts of her personality that she used to have.
That she hid.
Yeah, or that was killed by Adam. So that's really great character development, and it's really good relationship building for these two in this moment. Okay, so Ren and Nora show up, and Weiss voices her displeasure that RWBY is going to the election party. Which, of course, Ren and Nora are also wanting to go, because Ren is Mr. Business, and Nora's just going because Ren's going, I'm pretty sure. And Weiss doesn't want to go. That's the last thing she wants to do. Now, this is what you were talking about. Nora makes the great commentary that both Ironwood and Robin are wanting to do what's best, but
they want to help Atlas and Mantle. Like, they want to do what they have to help.
Except only one of them is...
Yeah.
How did it actually go again?
She says... Oh, if you wouldn't have asked.
It's been a long day. We had to work all day today and not, so...
They're both... She had said something like...
It was pretty much along the lines of both want to do good, but only one of them is actively doing...
But, it's who's doing the better job of it.
Yeah. Which, in this case, Robin really is.
Yeah.
So, Team at least Nora and some of Team RWBY are in support of Robin. Now, this next thing is okay. This was absolutely adorable. Like, this is definitely out of character Blake. Like, Blake does this cute little dance, and it's so funny that this badass literal cat ninja can't dance. And it's funny when it's in motion, her ears are flopping when she's bouncing around, and it's just the cutest, most adorable thing ever. And Yang is just like, oh my gosh. And then Yang does this little shuffle dance, and which is, Yang has always been...
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and apparently Erin said she had so much fun delivering that line.
It's okay. I can dance, but I'm Blake. I can't do that shuffle thing. There's a lot of them I can't do.
Yeah, what Yang did was still kind of funny looking, but it was smooth. I'll give her that. And, this is the first time we've seen, going to the dance club, the club, Yang, since, the Yellow trailer. Well, Volume 2 in a way, because she went to Question Junior, but she didn't go there to dance. She went to...
Technically, I don't know how it works in this world, but in our world, they're the age that they're actually legal to go into a dance club.
Yeah. Which, But yet,
Being
like,
huntresses, that would probably be a thing too.
yeah, but I mean, let's face it, she's not exactly going just to go dance in a club.
No,
She's
going together.
They're going together. So this is a date, okay? This is a legit Bumblebee date.
I absolutely loved this. Just that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's so cute. It really was a cute interaction. And Suffering Weiss is canon, y'all. Like, there have been so many people drawing fan art of her just like, oh my god, I can't take this anymore. Just tell each other you love each other and kiss already.
Now,
This screams it.
This look makes me wonder if she will just turn around and say it at some point in the episode, one of the episodes, like, just kiss already and walk away.
Yeah, this definitely just screams Suffering Weiss. Like, she just can't anymore. And then, so she doesn't want to go dancing with Blake and Yang. She doesn't want to go to the rally. So John and Oscar pop in. Hey, we're going to the movies. Does anybody want? Yep.
Doesn't even get to finish the question. He goes, oh, okay.
So now the White Knight shippers are like having a field day.
And Oscar is just, it was adorable. Like,
yeah, did you get it?
I did. He is just
so excited that
Ruby's just smiling, but he is so excited. Like, it's
Oscar
for him,
is
this
cute
is just,
as hell.
because he bonds with both teams. This is just another bonding thing for him. So he's just excited.
Yeah, so both of them I think John was more surprised that Weiss actually said, yeah, she'll go to the movies with him.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder what kind of movies would be in Remnant, especially Atlas. But
maybe those posters on the wall?
Yeah, maybe.
From the last volume?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, because that was an Argus, and that's an Atlas port. So,
yes.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm thinking something like those.
So, yeah, the White Knight shippers are having a field day because Weiss is legit going to a movie with John, though Oscar is there, too. But, as things are standing now, I definitely think it's Rose Garden, maybe White Knight, and Bumblebee for Team RWBY. It's definitely looking that way, but who knows? Like the series still has a while to go.
Yes.
So who knows? This may just be a fun little thing. So Ruby, Ren, and Nora are on their way to the party, and of course, there's people on the streets, with their signs, because it's election time. It's election night.
Yeah.
And we all know how fun those can be. So, yeah, they're talking more about people learning about Salem and all that. And you also see in the background Robin.
The current leaderboard.
Yeah, Robin's winning 67%, and like Jacques is behind a lot. Like it's like I think that's a 3. It's like 30-something%. So I mean, Robin. Like, if nothing had went wrong, Robin would have won this election by a landslide.
She had the vote, and it showed that, like...
that nobody likes Jacques. Nobody wanted him
if you've
in that
noticed,
seat.
even a lot of actual, like, Atlas, like, high society Atlas, because you can tell similar, kind of where the... later in the episode, when you see the little thing that has the little patches on it that show, kind of like in our elections, how each state is different colored.
Yep.
And different counties are different colored when you look in closer. That's kind of what that was. The very top corner was blue, but coming down from that corner was probably still upper Atlas. Like the high society people. There was still people there voting for her. So, and then... Watts.
Yeah, they're talking more about, about how
Ren had said that.
Yeah, the inevitable of how they can't beat Salem. So, many people were, like, blown away by this, that they had Nora say this. Because, they bring up that Jen said that Ozpin couldn't destroy Salem and all that.
She can't be beaten and Oz couldn't destroy her.
But maybe someone else could. And it's like, ooh.
Really thinking back to that, she said that Oz couldn't destroy her.
Yeah.
Oz couldn't.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anybody... Like,
Nora kind of just worked around Jen's answer. It makes me wonder, could this be the third question? Or the last question to Jen?
Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, they said she can't be beaten. Oz can't destroy her. Okay, well, now you really need to think in depth with those terms. Can't be beaten. Okay? Beaten, but that doesn't mean that she can't be destroyed somehow. Like, it's just Oz can't do it.
Or maybe not destroyed, but at least beaten in a way. Like, because even if they can't kill her, they could find a way that could at least, like...
She's, like, part Grimm at this point. Like...
So, yeah, a lot of people have seen this foreshadowing because she's looking at RWBY, that it may be RWBY that does it. But we don't know how yet.
Ugh, I thought of something.
What? You had a revelation?
Not exactly, but it's just a thought, okay? A theory thought of mine, since I believe Summer's not dead. What if it took RWBY and Summer to defeat Salem? If she was alive.
Huh.
Both of their eyes.
Huh. It's actually kind of interesting.
So, like I said, we don't know, I still truly believe Summer's not dead.
The belief that she's still alive went up greatly after that last episode.
But the thing is, like, that just hit me. Like, when she said, well, somebody could. Okay, well, her strength in her semblance in her eyes is drastically growing. Thanks to Maria. And Maria's still continuing,
Even though she's not in this volume.
She can't continue to, she can push her. But, yeah, just thinking about it, Summer and RWBY. If Summer's alive and they both could do that, that could be a key. We already know the eyes are a huge key thing here. So...
I
just thought of that.
At this point in the episode, they're pushing more of the angst and infighting between Ren and Nora. And at this point, I was like, boy... The Renora shippers are scared right now.
Okay, did you see my face in the reaction? Yeah. I was scared.
Well, I mean, we're Renora shippers too. It's my second favorite ship. But it was just like...
Cosplays will come one day, I promise.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, are they going to kill Renora? Like...
I was scared. Like, I'm just going, no. Okay, I had to get a picture of that, because... It made me think of Yang.
Yeah, it's kind of...
It kicked me.
Yeah,
okay.
It is kind of a callback to Chapter 1 when she kicked the robot. So yeah, we're at the election party, and Ren, Nora, and RWBY show up, and the RWBY Twitter posted those election posters of Robin, so we got to see those a little early. So this is about to become probably the most explicit confirmation they have ever done. Now, Chapter 3 is definitely up there, with the gay panic from Yang and the blush from Blake. So they walk in, and Penny's there.
She's so happy.
Yep, because Penny is helping work security. So she asks where everybody else's is. No, so Nora's like,
and her attitude.
Yeah, because she's still kind of angry with how Ren's been acting. So she says, Weiss is out with the boys again.
No.
Oh.
That was, okay. And then...
You missed that.
I missed the words, but...
And she says Blake and Yang are out doing their own thing again.
And then,
Ren states at least they're friends again. And here it comes. Like I said, the moment this happened, I was like, are they really having, in the show, characters talk about this?
Yes, and in a parallel sense, too.
Yes.
So, it starts with one, and it's paralleling to them later through this conversation.
Nora straight up says, friends, huh? Just friends? And I lost it. I was like, oh... My God, they are...
And then RWBY's face.
Yeah, because, I
like how she kind of just sinks to the floor.
Well, we've all been there. We've all been the third wheel, and the couple that you're with start fighting between each other.
It sucks. It really does.
Because here's what they're doing. Okay? Now, there have already been people who have twisted this. Oh, Nora's projecting. Oh, yuck. You know. Or... We were supposed to side with Ren, and if you sided with Nora, you're mental. Okay, people already...
You are mental.
are people already spinning their yarns and projecting their own biases on characters who have this like set to what it's supposed to be. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this, that a friend of mine on Twitter posted about how this was pretty much Nora paralleling Blake and Yang to her and Ren, and Samantha Ireland liked it. Meaning, ding 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 ding, they win the prize. So, yeah, Nora bringing up Friends, huh? Just Friends, and it's like, oh my god, Nora, you just called out Blake and Yang. And also, you've got to understand the kind of person Ren is. He doesn't show his emotions well, and he also doesn't pick up on that stuff. It's like the whole, when Marrow said, I smell fresh meat, and Ren agreeing with Vine that he didn't smell any meat.
Yeah.
He didn't get it.
And I think this, if anyone remembers, seeing his backstory a bit, his past is probably why he can't project his emotions very well. Like, yes. I mean, everything that happened was very traumatic, so he's always been this way, and Nora knows that, but he's grown. So
and Calaxon and Hunter said a very interesting thing in their analysis. They said this is pretty much Nora seeing what Blake and Yang have, and she wants her and Ren to have that. Which, because, I mean, let's face it, even though Blake and Yang are not an official couple yet, they're already doing couple things. They're going on a date. They're being flirty with each other. They're
just being, like,
yeah.
I don't know how else to describe
to where
that.
In this whole volume, like it's so weird. They became pretty much canon in Volume 4. We didn't get really anything, maybe a couple of looks in Volume 5 for Ren and Nora. We got them in the opening of Volume 6, and of course, get back here with My Man, and Ren being concerned about
the shoulder thing, too.
Yeah, that and all that. But then we get into this volume, and Ren is like being very, very distant of Nora. So between her, bringing up Blake and Yang, her, doing the whole friends, just friends, and by the way, Erin's reaction to this was amazing. Erin had a fit because she was like, I didn't read this part of the script.
She apparently flipped, so
yeah, and she even stated it's canon. So
yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to go ahead and state this for anyone who watches this right now. As of this episode, well, I'll wait until what happened later to state this. But anyway, from the Just Friends thing to two people who've gone through that much. Okay. They're going from her talking about Blake and Yang to this point right here, she's talking about Blake and Yang and herself and Ren. Because we have been saying since the end of Volume 6, Bumblebee and Renora are parallels to each other. In Volume 4, Ren and Nora took on the Knucklevy, which was a source of trauma for both of them that brought them together. In Volume 6, Blake and Yang took on Adam, the source of trauma for both of them, and they became closer for it. This is pretty much RWBY telling you all, this is a thing, okay? They are having characters within the freaking show tell you this. This is in the show, people. This isn't something to be debated, okay? If you're still doubting it at this point, you're a lost cause, and you just need to move on with your life. But this is it. And
you can't put it any other way. I'm sorry.
And of course, Nora says, I think there's more going on. Now, of course, that is, related to Blake and Yang. But she's also saying, there's more going on between you and me. We're supposed to be dating.
Yeah.
Now, here, at this point, I don't think Ren is talking about Blake and Yang. I think he's talking about himself and Nora.
Yeah, I think this is where it starts clicking in, because he's looking away, the way he says it.
He can't, at first he can't look Nora in the face.
Because he doesn't...
And, his whole, maybe one of them feels that way, but maybe the other one is worried, doesn't really fit Blake and Yang. It fits for them.
It fits for them. And, I mean, it's just...
It's pretty much saying Nora feels that way for him, and he does too, but he's worried to let it show. Because look at his past.
Yes, he doesn't... Like, obviously, you can tell he cares about Nora.
He loves her.
They're together. They actually, they are dating. But he's afraid to just... He doesn't know how to deal with those emotions, and he's afraid to show it. But he's worried about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And the fact that, he just... I don't think he can just get it out at all. It's just what's causing the distance.
Mm-hmm. So it's not in this, but they continue. Nora says about what in a very loud, angry way, which is kind of funny. And then she also brings up...
I'm a bit maybe confused.
Well, Nora also says, you can't hear it, but it is in the subtitles, that how are they supposed to talk about it with all this going on? Which, once again, that relates to both them and Bumblebee. Because we've not seen Blake and Yang have that time to talk. And we've not seen Ren and Nora have that time to talk until right now, of course. So I'm hoping, very much hoping, since we got this in this episode and this was stated, next episode we'll finally get a B talk.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Now...
But poor Penny and RWBY, they're just like,
yeah, no.
I'm confused. And then Ruby, she's like, who are we talking about? I'm really not sure.
And the reason why Ruby says this, because... the reason why she says it is not because she
knows where it started.
Well, it's not exactly that, I don't think. I think it's not that she doesn't know or realize what's going on between her sister and Blake. I think it's pretty much her saying she doesn't know if they're talking about Blake and Yang or if they're talking about themselves.
That's what I'm saying. She's not sure, but they both could be either. Like, to me, it's probably like, okay, she thought it was one of them. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like both of them now.
Yeah.
So
this whole conversation...
Ruby's just like,
This whole conversation between Ren and Nora is a parallel between themselves and Bumblebee.
Yes.
I mean, you can't deny it, because it was complete, like... I was just like, I'm still not over this. Because, like I said, this is the most explicit statement RWBY has made about both these ships. And I'm just like, what? I was ready for them to switch to Blake and Yang. And it never happened. But gotta wait another week. And how many of us have been in RWBY's place? We're at a party or a get together, and you're like the only friend you have there, and you're just like,
don't leave me.
Yeah. Which is really cute. It's a nice little nuts and bolts moment.
I wanted to catch it with the words on there, but Penny, just a split second later, Penny just kind of smiles at her, like, okay, come with me. I love this. So she got so excited.
Yep. So they go backstage, and Marrow is there as well, working security, and he wonders why RWBY is there, and RWBY says she's there to hang out with her friend
while she's working.
Yeah. And RWBY offers Penny a fist bump, and Penny is like so adorably excited. And then she doesn't. Yeah, she destroys RWBY's hand. Like, oh my gosh. Like, this is the stage where the pain hasn't exactly...
it continues to the next one.
Yeah, it hasn't...
No. It connects you to the next set of slides.
But RWBY's look on her face is pretty
There we go. She's just like, and Penny's just like, okay.
Well, at the first slide, it's like the pain hasn't set in yet, and now...
And Penny's just sitting there all happy, and RWBY's just like, oh, God.
Now, Marrow's a bit of an ass in this episode. But, I love that Robin calls him Wags because of his tail. But Robin shows up, and...
I know what others have said in videos as of recent, but another thing I want to touch on that I just kind of clicked into my mind is... I mean... This isn't just defending Marrow because I like him. But when Robin walked up and the others, if there was really something wrong, especially being the type of faunus he is, there would have been an internal panic, and you would have seen it, maybe not through his physical, his face or his body language, but the tail. That's one thing I've noticed through the entire... Since we first saw him, that is a key giveaway to any emotion.
Pretty much, she doesn't want the whole Marrow is the traitor to be real.
Yes, but my point is I'm just noticing things just because, one, we own a dog. Okay, that's one
Everybody
thing.
owns a dog.
Not everyone does. But the traits, the things, just...
Pretty much, the theory is that since Marrow was there, and since he is a Faunus, he was toward the front of the stage when things go down. He should have been able to see in the dark what was going on, and the fact that he doesn't try to say that it wasn't Penny and all that have got some people thinking that he did see everything and he's not speaking on it. But it was stated that most
Faunus can see in the dark, not all Faunus. Because when the lights came on, he was standing, and I think I got that shot too. He's standing in front of, like, kneeling in front of the stage, and he's looking around panicked too. He couldn't see anything, just like RWBY couldn't see. So he was touching the stage, kind of like when you, in the dark, you can't see. You're going to touch something to get yourself down a hole if you don't know where you're going. That's what he was doing.
But anyway, Robin shows
Calls
up.
her Pipsqueak, and the little growl was it was cute.
But there's a little bit of tension
and then
between
Penny, her face.
There's a little bit of tension between Robin and Marrow. You know, Marrow wanting Robin to not, you know, if she gets elected, not to do anything illegal to get her way illegally. Which, I mean, once again, she's based off Robin Hood, so of course she probably doesn't have the best record, probably legally. But now here's an interesting thing. The character behind Marrow with the blue hair, their name has been given as, I believe, May Marigold, meaning she could be related to, I just forgot his first name. Was it Harry? Harry Marigold? From Volume 4? I do not remember. I gotta look at that. You gotta look that up real fast. But anyway, the character from Volume 4 that tried to hit on Weiss, that she had kicked out, she shares the same last name as him. So, is this sister who maybe got tired of that rich life and, you know, was like, I don't want anything to do with these kind of people, so I'm going to go down to Mantle and become a freedom fighter in a way.
Henry.
Okay, yeah, I was close. But yeah, Henry Marigold from Volume 4. Volume 4 was a long time ago, okay? And he only showed up once. But, so that's a very... Because she kind of looks like him. The hair color's the same and all that, so it had, many believing that she is related to him. Robin pretty much stating that, you know, once she gets elected, you know, they're all going to have to get along and all that, so they should. And Marrow's just not, he just doesn't trust her, it seems like, to do things legally. Which, I mean, he's if he's the good boy everybody thinks he is, that fits him.
But you gotta have to remember also, even in the beginning when we met him, he tried to keep the straight face. Yeah. Like, that's just...
how he is.
Yes, that is just how he is. And then he made a point, you know, she was saying, well, it's, you know, the laws aren't, you know, they're not all equal, you know, for anybody. And he goes, you know, moves the tail aside. Yeah. Trust me, I'm well aware. So, he really does know. Like, yeah, he's part of the military, but he's a Faunus, so can you imagine what he's probably gone through to even get to the military? Yeah, but
people have even pointed out that he doesn't really seem that worried about the plight of the Faunus.
We don't know that, though.
I know, but it's just going off what he has shown so far. It's like in Chapter 3, you know, oh yeah, humans are bad to us, but hey, I'm not here to talk about these issues. Get through that hole.
But, I mean...
I don't know. I just think there's still a lot unknown about these Aesops. So, of course, right here, you know, she's letting him know that she wants to help all the people of Atlas and Mantle. Faunus, human, all of them. And I love her line here when he brings up about her doing it legally, and she said everything she's done is legal. I love Robin. I think she's an awesome character already. Oh, she's so adorable. And RWBY just seems like they just love introducing these characters that the fandom's gonna fall in love with, and then
something happening.
yeah. So Marrow is
And
just
I
like
brought up a point on this too.
Marrow is just a complete butthole to Ruby here. Tells her to beat it and all that, and she raspberries him, which Penny laughs at.
I think though, if he'd stop being his, oh so serious, doggo self, if he would have actually truly noticed and saw this, he probably would have turned around and done it back. If he wasn't in the setting of, a job. Yeah. He probably would have turned around and done it right back.
So, Marrow and Penny take their places, and Ruby joins the crowd, and...
Ruby in the background. I had to get that.
Yeah, Nora and Ren are still going on, and they do the classic, can we please not do this right now? That's such a couple thing when you're fighting in public. It really is.
So, I should have gone to the movies.
But it's a good thing she didn't.
Yes, because... what she sees,
Yeah. So, the whole, because at election parties when the votes are coming in, people make speeches and all that to get the crowd up, to, boost everybody, like, hey, we're going to win this. And it's just really cute, because she starts getting a little emotional during her little speech and all that. And she calls Robin up. I wish she would gotten the shippy moment between those two.
Sorry.
People are shipping them big time. But this...
I wanted to get that with the background.
Because it shows that Jacques has caught up pretty well. I mean, he's only 10% behind her. So this is where I was like, oh, man.
Something's happening.
Yeah, the numbers have went up a lot. And this broke my heart.
This started
originally.
To worry me even more.
Yeah, because she reaches out to Ren, and Ren backs away from her, like he moves away from her. And it's just like, what? Like, we still don't know 100% why Ren is acting like this all of a sudden, but I think it's just because of all that's going on.
That and his emotions are like, I'm sure, like, they're just completely flying in his head. Like, yeah. And so he doesn't, his only instinct to deal with it is to pull away to himself. Mm-hmm. Like, if you've noticed, I mean, that's why when we saw in the beginning, he's sitting on the ground and he's focusing. Yep. So he's strengthening himself, but
this is after Robin's speech, and she's looking at the numbers, and you can tell she's getting a little worried, which we still don't know the tall huntress's name.
Joanna.
Oh, is that what it is?
Because when they're the two that were hiding behind the truck.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, and now that we know which one's which, May and that one, it's Joanna.
Yeah.
Don't know her last name yet.
Yeah, she tells Robbie, hey, it's in the bag, but you didn't get it. But Robin is worried. You can see it in her face.
This started worrying me too.
Like poor Nora, like she almost sounded like she was about on the verge of tears. She's asking him, what's going on? Why won't you talk to me? And Ren states what we've always known. I've never been really good with talking. That's just how he is. That's how he's been since he was introduced. I really didn't know what was going to happen right here when she said, then screw talking. I didn't know what to expect. And then, boom!
If nobody was home, I would have screamed.
We finally get the Renora kiss. I love the look on his face. He's just all wide-eyed. Did you get the whole thing?
Yes.
And everything gets, blurry. And, they're all in.
I didn't get every motion of it, but the fact that after that he closed his eyes and lovingly wrapped his arms around her, and he's truly holding on to her. So
yeah, and she wraps her arms around his neck. And
I think
at this point,
our picture really shows this.
So this pretty much, once this happened, I was like, it's over. Anyone who still denies Renora, it's done.
Canon, completely. Yeah. There's no question.
But I mean, after this episode, after what Nora said earlier, and after this one chapter 100% confirmed Renora, and it also 100% confirmed that Bumblebee is romantic.
Yeah.
So they pretty much confirmed two ships in one episode. Now you can fight it, you can cry, you can whine, you can get on the internet and type your little
Keyboard warrior.
keyboard warrior on a forum. Oh, it's so forced, so cringy. I can't believe this. A fictional ship is ruining my life. Then just stop watching RWBY. Because, I mean, really, the true fandom doesn't want anything to do with you, and neither do the people that make the show. So, yeah. Once again, and I mean, even on Reddit, I saw a whole. I read most of a Reddit thread because every week there's a thread made on Reddit for that week's episode, and I was shocked. Everyone has pretty much accepted that Renora is fully confirmed, and Bumblebee being romantic has been confirmed. So I mean, that's it, guys. I mean, I know I've said this before, but game over. That's it. We have had a Bumblebee moment every freaking chapter this volume. So I mean,
and now
counting
big, huge Renora moment.
Yes.
We needed it.
But for Bumblebee, since chapter 10 of volume 6, we're like 9 for 9 as chapters go.
I mean, we did go for so long without anything, especially when they were separated.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, well, then now it's just all this. No,
Yeah.
This is part of the story. It's building. They're building. This is their...
Yeah.
It's
You can't really say something's forced when the story still isn't over.
No, they're going to keep going. It's going to keep building. Even when, things are confirmed canon, like Renora, it's going to keep building. We're going to see them progress. So,
well,
it might not be exactly in your face anymore, as much, but...
I have a feeling, though, after this and after what happens in this episode, Ren's going to be like, this is our fault. If we hadn't been doing this, we could have done something. And I just have a feeling it's going to cause a rift between them.
I hope not. But here's the thing also. Even if they weren't in their own little world in this moment...
They wouldn't have got there in time.
No, and they could have been in the crowd, too.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to see when the lights were out. And that could have been...
bad.
So,
so once again, Renora, canon. Bumblebee being canon as far as it being romantic, yes, it's confirmed. So here's when things get bad.
And the bottom corner of the screen is
that's the
map I was telling you about, where most
map.
of it, even up towards the top, which would still be Atlas.
It's mostly Robin.
Yes, it's almost completely Robin.
Yeah. So this is when we knew things were going to get bad.
That I noticed. His little rings.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's how he was going through town and disabling the cameras.
Yeah. And this guy, he is fluid like water. He is doing this whole hacking thing like he's directing an orchestra. And I just want so many people to make AMVs of like classical music or whatever and put watts to it. Because, I'm sorry, it was pretty impressive. And we learned Tyrion is in the crowd. If Tyrion wasn't already my favorite current villain, he would be after this. Because I'm sorry, this is great. This is great being a villain material right here. Because RWBY has gotten dark in the past. Boy, this was very dark. Because it deals with something that is, in our world, still a countrywide problem. And that's mass violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're counting down for when the polls close. And RWBY catches a glimpse of Tyrion's tail. Now, RWBY has never seen his robotic tail.
But she knows the tail.
Yeah, she knows the tail. And so RWBY looks up, goes behind some people in the crowd, looks over, and comes face to face with Tyrion, which of course she's fought before, so she knows who he is, and she screams, toward Robin.
Look out!
Because this definitely looks like an assassination attempt on Robin, and the lights go out, and this is the moment where it's like, oh shit, Yeah, it took the lights going out for Ren and Nora to stop kissing.
I mean, he opened his eye, and that's when they separated, but the thing is they've been standing like that, they can't see.
Yeah.
Nobody can, and I got that so you could see where RWBY was. Like, she was thrown against a wall because someone bumped into her.
So, Tyrion starts killing people, just at random.
And Marrow's, like, this is another thing I noticed when I was looking back through the subtitles. Marrow's going, Penny, what's going on?
Yeah.
He can't see her. He can't see anybody. So, clearly, he can't see in the dark like everyone thought.
So, yeah, we do learn that Penny does, in fact, have night vision. She sees Tyrion, but he vanishes. So, we don't know if this had, like... It's weird, because Tyrion shows a couple of new tricks here. I don't think it's his semblance. It's Watts messing with... I think it's Watts messing with Penny. Now, this right here is the voting map. And as you can see...
He touches it.
Yes, Watts is rigging it. Now, I know after our reaction you said something about all these being phones. I don't think that's what those are. That's just the keypads, because it shows him doing it in the opening.
The way that they're shaped...
Yeah, they look like phones.
What it looks like he did, because think of what he is. They're all scrolls.
Yeah, it does look like a bunch of scrolls.
I bet anything. But the thing is
I don't think he's using them to put in votes, because he's got the map right there.
No, he's using this. My theory, though, is all of these scrolls that he has
are connected to a network or something.
Yes,
probably.
But they're probably the ones of people Tyrion was killing.
Yeah.
He was probably collecting, because if you look, there's older scrolls. There's scrolls we've never even seen before, which were probably old. Brand new ones. And because of being Watts who he is, he took all of them and connected them.
Yeah. Which I believe this one with the map on it is his scroll, because it does have a W on it for Watts. So yeah, while he's orchestrating this, he's fixing the election counts, because Robin had a ton.
She had almost the entire map.
Yeah, and now Jacques has more than her. Now, this here is pretty much what everyone has accepted is Tyrion's semblance. We finally get to see it. It's not his poison. It appears that he has a semblance that cuts through aura.
Yeah.
Which has led a lot of people to believe that's why he found Jon interesting. Because even though Jon had not had his semblance yet in Volume 4, he knew that Jon had... He somehow knew...
He could probably sense it.
That Jon had an aura that contradicts his. So... That's really, really interesting.
Have you noticed? We're finding a lot of people, regardless if they're connected or not, or if, they...
That have semblances that
are similar to the other.
Yeah.
We need to make a list of that.
Poor Penny, she tries... she has a feeling that Tyrion's trying to kill Robin, so Penny is legit trying to save her.
Which she knocks her down.
Yeah, and I forgot the sheep girl's name. They stated it, but I've already forgotten. It starts with an F. Tyrion does get to her. She states she's okay. So.
What makes me really think back, because I've seen some people posting, it's a sacrificial lamb. No, that's a little far.
Because we don't know if he can use his poison through his semblance like that.
Yeah, but the other thing, because he cut. I looked watching back again. He cut through her semblance. Then scratched her with
aura,
his...
you mean?
Yeah. Cut through her aura and then scratched her with his tail. But here's the thing.
Oh, was it his tail he got her with?
Yes.
Okay, I thought
But
it was
here's
his
the
hand.
thing. We know somebody who has actually been stabbed by this tail with the same poison.
Mm-hmm.
He's still alive. Because they got him the help that he needed.
Yeah.
They were able to save him. There's people around. She can be saved because she was scratched. She wasn't stabbed.
I just hope they have that in Mantle or Atlas, because they're a long way from Mistral. That's where he got fixed up at, was Mistral.
Well, yes, but any type of immediate medical care should be able to still at least help her.
Yeah.
To get her somewhere.
Well, she states she's okay, but then again, you gotta remember, the poison didn't kick into Crow until about 24 hours later.
But that just means she knows that obviously they know they need to do something.
Yeah. So the lights come on and poor Penny is pretty much being framed.
Yeah.
This really calls back to Yang in Volume 3 getting framed.
This is a lot quicker in the episodes.
Yeah. And it's announced that Jacques has won. And that just was not a good feeling. But you've got these dead bodies laying around. You got RWBY and Marrow at the top of stage.
I think I have a better picture, but you can see where his hand is. Yeah. He was feeling along the wall to get to where he could see someone sitting. So he was crawling to somewhere. So obviously, again, my point, he couldn't see. He was asking Penny what's going on. all you hear is just screaming. So
Yeah, I can't. But yeah, Robin sees her standing there, and poor Penny.
she just, she just looks at Penny and says her name, like, why did you do this to me, like, or to this.
In which, Ruby runs over to her, like, to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, putting pressure.
And Ren and Norma run over, and Ruby states it was Tyrion. That Tyrion it was there. Which was,
I don't think I got their faces, but they knew it was trouble. Like, I got this scene so you could see they know what's happening. Ren's ready to find him.
Yeah. And so, everybody starts rushing the stage to like attack Penny, and Marrow uses his semblance on everybody to freeze them.
To get the entire group out. You know, it's.
So here she's stating that she's okay. Robin's tending to her. I really hope they get her help. But we don't know, because we know next episode Robin's walking the streets of Mantle for some reason, and Blake and Yang attack her. So we don't know where.
There could be.
He
builds robotics, but there could be somebody that can help her in Mantle.
But we don't know what's happening between this and when that happens.
Yes.
So we'll have a better idea next week. Now, okay, so here's one part where I will defend Marrow. His voice does crack a little bit when he says this wasn't us.
His eyes are wide. It's panic. Like,
he tells Robin this was not them that did this.
He wouldn't, like, and that's the other thing is the way he showed he's like, this isn't us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be blamed for this. We didn't do this. We were here to help you.
And this also may help build that he may be the one member of the ASOPs to break away from the team, because he was there when this went on, and like, you know where I'm going.
Another thing is and this fits with the next few slides, is that if he was, and then you got this asshole.
Yeah.
But the thing is here's another thing. If he was really not the good boy we think he is, he would have found that moment to take off. Because incoming Grimm, if he's not for this and wants and is shocked by this, he wouldn't stand by and want to continue to kill Grimm. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that say, well, Cinder and them did it, and with the stuff with Beacon and all that. There's a huge difference here. There's a huge difference between that. This he doesn't know what to do at this point. Like, but get Penny out.
Yeah. He tells Penny to leave. Now, I don't think you got it, but Ruby reaches out to Penny, and she's got blood on her hand. And then she looks at her hand, and like she has kind of like this look on her face. But it's not a real good moment right now, because now Grimm are going to be infesting Mantle, and Penny's being framed, and everybody knows that she works for Ironwood. So, it's, and Marrow even says we've got a long night ahead, because Grimm are now infesting Mantle, and you've got...
And this is the last one.
Yeah, and you've got Jacques on the screen talking about how he's going to serve each and every citizen, when we all know he's just going to serve himself. It's really a bleak situation.
The one thing I did notice is before he turned around when he spoke, though, and told Penny to leave, it was too quick to even catch it to picture. His tail dropped. Because he's just like, I don't know what to do. We need to get Penny out of here at least, and we're going to have to fight. That's kind of the thought process you kind of see, even his motions. Like, he's... Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much the episode. In 16 minutes, they took us from a high point to a low point. I was exhausted by the end of this episode. You need to move it over.
Oh, that's the wrong camera. There we go. We've got two.
See what I work with every day? But, it didn't feel like 16 minutes. It felt longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was emotionally drained by the end of this episode, and I was like, gosh, I've got to go to work.
Which I ended up working a lot longer today.
Yeah, than you were supposed to. But, it was just a wild episode. As far as predictions for next week, I definitely think that when it starts, it's not going to be taking place directly at the end of that. Like, there's not going to be Grimm all over the place.
I think it's going to be slightly before because
Yeah,
we need to see where the other groups are.
Yeah, it's going to be a time place episode. Like, since they showed that clip, I'm guessing Blake and Yang will be next week. Like, it's going to show their date more than likely, and then eventually what happens at the rally will happen. Things will go the way it does, and then they'll somehow end up fighting Robin. Will we get an episode with Jean, Oscar, and Weiss? I don't know. Maybe.
I'm kind of hoping the episode's a little longer, like last week's, so that way we do have that moment with Bumblebee, and then we have that moment with the others. So that way, like that moment of we get what that, and then everything gets interrupted between Blake and Yang, you know, with Robin, because then they're gonna be alerted with the sirens and stuff going off. Well, that could also be another thing.
Well, in the clip they showed when Blake flies across the road and into that alley, police cars do go by.
So, yeah, I think it's going to lead up to that. Yeah. And then with Weiss, John, and Oscar, that would kind of be the same thing. Like, they'll be in their place, and then they're going to hear... I don't know if we'll see so much of what they're doing, but we'll probably see them.
Unless they do decide to push White Knight.
But, even if it's a few seconds, we might see they are somewhere, and then they'll hear the sirens. But as far as anything, I think it's going to start out actually with the Bumblebee date. Like, and then lead into that.
But everybody's saying this is Volume 3 all over again. I don't think things are going to remain bad for the rest of the volume, because this is only Chapter 6. I think things will calm down, kind of, but, like, Jacques will start raining terror on things. Penny will be, dealing with what happened. Ironwood will do, I just don't think the fall of the fall of Atlas is all going to happen this one volume.
And I don't, we had talked about it in the car and on the way home from work, and I don't think it's going to be just like the fall of Beacon. I don't think it's going to be quite
because you can't be that repetitive.
No, they're not going to have the same thing happen. I don't think it's going to be this
because people are already saying
drastic destroyed downfall. I think it's
there's going to be very fall eventually,
but I don't think it's going to be the way everyone's anticipating it.
Yeah, because everybody's already got either Ren or Nora dying just because when John and Pyrrha kissed, one of them died. They're not going to be
They're not going to do that.
They're not going to be that cliche, guys.
There's a difference. And, they're not just going to start killing everybody off. And especially since, at this point, I know, the whole plot armor thing. But right now, Jean, Nora, Ren, and Oscar, but, he's Oz, but they're pretty important at this point right now. They're not just going to disappear. It's temporary plot armor. I don't know how to word that.
Yeah, because a lot of people have stated that Jean, Nora, and Ren are really not that important to the plot right now. It's mostly just Team RWBY. But
in reality, though, they kind of are.
Well, they're secondary protagonists, so they're not always going to be as important as the main cast. But they don't really have the plot armor. Those three, the main four.
Well, yeah, but you get what I mean. Right now, the way things are going, they're not just going to turn around and just get rid of them.
Yeah, we're probably going to have another Dark, and people are going to die and all that. But guys, it's not going to be a complete repeat. That would be bad writing at that point. It's got to be different. They've got to do stuff that's going to throw us a complete
they've hyped these. They've, even from the volume as a whole, but they've been hyping up too much for that to...
So, yeah, I don't think the actual fall is going to happen this volume. It'll be Volume 8, because, like I said, they did say Volume 7 and 8 were more connected, so that means we're at least going to be an Atlas for 2 volumes. So, if the fall happened now, we wouldn't be an Atlas anymore in Volume 8.
I do think it's going to be 8, and it's not going to... And I really don't think it's going to be like Beacon either.
Yep. Well, I think we've talked about enough.
Yeah.
Well, that was our overview/analysis of Chapter 6, and boy, what an episode it was. Make sure to go watch our Chapter 5 reaction. Our Chapter 6 reaction will probably be up by tomorrow, though it'll be blocked, so hopefully it'll be up by next week. We freaked out a lot in that one.
I spent my break editing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean that's really all I've got. Like I said in the other videos, Let's Plays are coming. It'll be in January. We will try and have a trailer up this month if this one gets her act together, because she's the artist, not me. I love you. Um, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, share it around. Follow us on Twitter. Um, if you want to support us, become a Patreon, all that good stuff. And this volume's going to kill us all. Hopefully. It really is. Well, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.